So, would you guys consider yourselves transhumanists? I know there's kind of the growing transhumanist movement of trying to reach out to human enhancement, which is kind of a lot of the reason why Xapiens got started. Um, but, I mean, obviously you guys are very in deep in the field. That can be kind of a dirty word to use sometimes. So
I don't tend to use like a specific word like this, but I would say I'm like very much influenced by that streak of thought. Like it seems lame for us to have had millions of years of evolution and then just kind of, figure out our material needs and then just like stop and like our brains stay the same and our psychology stays the same and our body stays the same. I think it's like very unlikely that like we just like reach a level of happiness and we're just like sitting there. We're like, hey, great, sort of a good version of 20th century life is the best that it gets or something, right? So in that sense, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. I used to be pretty bought into like, I evolved to eat meat, so I should eat meat. And then I heard somebody on a transhumanist podcast be like, but why? And I was like, oh no, but why? So I like it's influenced me. I don't know if I would call myself a transhumanist.
Okay. So why the focus on brain mapping and longevity specifically? So, I mean, you were mentioning how there are certain bottlenecks in the field, but why do you think you should kind of hit the hammer on these things now? Like, why do you think this is the right time to address these bottlenecks rather than waiting for some other, say, like, computational revolution to make everything very easy?
Yeah, I mean, some things that kind of keep me up at night sometimes is whether there will be an AI transition of some kind that then basically makes what we're doing somewhat irrelevant, because the main thing was that you get, AGI or something like that. In practice, when I was working at DeepMind, and that was kind of, I would say, somewhat the mentality of the company. I mean, I think they've changed their motto now, but it used to be solve intelligence and use it to solve everything else. Maybe I just felt like that wasn't my background, and so I wanted to try to do, solve everything else and then use it to solve intelligence or something. But I just never quite fully resonated with it. It felt too monolithic, but there's a decent chance that like certain technology transitions will massively outweigh all the other ones. Something like brain seems to me on path, potentially still on path for really big AI things that could happen. And then the aging thing, I mean, you can justify it in a number of ways, but you can also just say that's one of the highest leverage things on just health generally, which I think is a perfectly sufficient way. It saves trillions of dollars in healthcare costs and so on if you can even get a few years, improvement in health span.
I think that the work that we're doing at 11 Bio or one of the other FROs we're considering over the next 30 or 40 years would have happened anyway. And we have this ability to like shorten that timeline by 35 years. And it just seems like a very obvious leverage point to pull.